Assalamu alaikum, class 7. Hope you're all keeping well and are making the most of the time during this quarantine break. It's Ramadan right now, so I'd like to begin by saying Ramadan Mubarak. I really hope you have a blessed month and you manage to keep the fast if you're fasting. So I'm here in front of you today to present an ICT class, and it's going to be theory, and the topic of today's lesson is social media. So the chances are you're probably watching this video on Facebook or YouTube, which are social media platforms. And in today's lesson, we're going to be finding out how is social media being used in people's leisure time, and also how people are using it in their work life. That's going to be the topic of today's lesson. We'll be doing some practicals in the near future, but we're going to begin with theory. So I really hope you benefit and enjoy this class. So I've got a presentation that I'd like to show you, which is describing how social media is being used in people's personal lives and also in their professional life. Okay guys, so let's begin the class. So today's lesson is about social media, and we're going to be looking at how social media is being used in a professional setting. So how are people using social media in their day-to-day office life? And we're going to be exploring that in some detail. We'll also touch on how social media is being used in people's personal lives and what are some of the negative aspects of social media. So first of all, what is social media? So social media is a place, a software, a website where people can communicate with other users and express their interests and ideas in a virtual community. That's what social media is. It's a place where people can communicate with other users and express themselves in a virtual community, whether they want to share an interest or an idea or some pictures. That's what social media is, a place for self-expression in a virtual community. So it's being used in personal and professional settings. People aren't just using social media for their leisure time. It's also playing a really important role in how people do their office work and how businesses use it. Okay, and when somebody wants to use social media, the first thing is to create something called a profile. So the profile is a person's personal space inside of the social media world. So inside of a profile, they'll include information about their name, any pictures, or any information that they want to share. All of that is stored inside of the profile. So it's a personal space for a particular user. And once they've set up their social media account, then they'll connect to other people and companies. And then once they've done that, then they'll come across something called the newsfeed. So what does a profile look like? So here's an example of a LinkedIn profile. This is my LinkedIn profile. So here we can see there's some information about myself on the profile. Now, what profiles look like on different platforms will vary from one to the other. So a LinkedIn profile will look different to a Facebook profile. A Facebook profile will look different to a Twitter profile. A Twitter profile will look different to a YouTube profile. Right, so all the profiles in social media will look different from one another, but the purpose is the same. It's the area where you keep information about yourself so that you can use the full capabilities of the social media. So once an account's been set up, you made your profile, then you'll connect to people. You might connect to your friends, your family, or it might follow any famous people or companies. So once you're connected to objects in the social media, then you'll come across a newsfeed. So when you sign into social media, then you'll get a newsfeed, which is basically a display of all the different posts from who you are following or connected to. So here we can see there's a post here on the right hand side by Silent Film Fans. So if you're following Silent Film Fans, then you will get their posts in your newsfeed. So whoever you're connected to, you'll get their news inside of your newsfeed if they make a post, right? So a post is basically just user-created content. People can make posts about anything. They might want to share information about themselves. They might want to share some news, right? Posts are user-generated material. And what people make, they will come on your newsfeed, providing that you are connected to them. Okay, so here's some information about the leading social media platforms. So Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn are amongst some of the most popular social media platforms in the world. These are the household names of social media. And you can see how staggering the amount of numbers are. Millions and millions of users are using these social media platforms. And as I mentioned, they're used for the same purpose, but how you use them and what type of content is displayed will vary from social media platform. Okay, so how is it used in people's personal lives? So the first thing is to communicate with known people. That's a common way people use social media in their leisure time. They will chat with people that they know. Another way is to share ideas, interests, recent activities and pictures. So people will be sharing photos, they might just share jokes, they might share, whatever thing that they're interested in, they'll share that in social media. That's a common way people use social media, by creating posts about something that they like or are interested in. And another way is about sharing information, news and getting entertainment. So people will be browsing social media platforms to maybe get news about the local area, to find out international news, or even to entertain themselves. Hence YouTube, the biggest video sharing network. People spend hours on YouTube just watching videos. Right, so these are some ways how social media is being used in people's personal lives. Now, that brings us to the next point. How is social media being used in a professional setting? How are people using social media at work and in businesses? So the first thing is about letting people know about products and services. So businesses are releasing new products and new services. A new TV might come out. Your hairdressers might announce a new haircut style is coming, right? Whatever the business is, they might want to inform people about the service or the product that they're offering. It's advertising. So companies are using social media to promote their products. With customers. So customers are the lifeblood of a company. Without customers, a business cannot survive. And it's important for businesses to keep good relationships with existing customers and to try to attract new customers. So communicating with customers is a key thing about social media. Before social media was around, the only way that customers could contact the companies was by telephone or by actually visiting an office in person. But now social media has added an extra dimension to communication. Now customers can use social media platforms to ask any questions or to report any problems. Right? To see what the competition is doing on social media. So there's more than one company that's making a TV. There's more than one company that's making chocolates, right? So companies will just use social media to find out what are other companies doing, to find out and to figure out ways how they can improve their business performance in the marketplace. Now, colleagues can communicate with each other in private groups. So companies are made up of people, right? A business cannot survive without people working inside of them. So social media also gives workers places where they can communicate with each other in a group. They might want to share information about a product they're releasing. They might just need to communicate in a meeting, right? So social media gives workers inside of one company creative ways to communicate with each other. Right, so many social media platforms can be used for this. And it can also be used to find jobs, and companies can use it to find workers. So often companies might need to find a new worker. They might need to find some talent for their company, or a person might be looking to find a job. So even social media can be used in these contexts, right, to find workers and for people to find new opportunities. Now here's an example of companies advertising their products and services using social media. So the picture that you can see in front of you is what a typical post might look like when a company is promoting their product or service. It could be some writing accompanied by an image, or it could just be a picture by itself or even a video. So companies will often make advertisements like these where they'll try to convince the public to try out their new products or service. Right? That's a really important way how companies use social media to promote their products or service. Another important way, probably the most important way how companies use social media is to maintain communication with customers, to keep in touch with them. So customers might contact a company through social media to get some general information like when a shop opens or how much something costs, or to report any problems. And companies can also use social media as a way to keep in touch with them. They can get feedback about any products that they release, right? They can read the comments about what people are saying to see if their products are good, if their products are bad. So, a key thing in social media is for companies to be able to keep in touch with the customers, and customers can contact the company about anything in particular. So about finding employment, and companies can use social media to find workers, and they could create posts in social media advertising a job and try to get people to apply for the job, or they can contact people directly. They might go into social media and search for individuals, and any individuals who they think are good enough for a job, they can message them directly and see if they're interested in working for them. So that's how social media can be used for people to find work or for companies to find workers. So what are the negative features of social media? Now, this is mainly referring to personal life. So the key thing, and probably the most worst way social media is affecting society, is people becoming addicted to these platforms. That they spend so much time on social media that they forget that real people are with them. And unfortunately, this is becoming a real common thing in society. You can walk into a restaurant and you might see people who are sitting on the table next to each other, but they're just looking at their smartphones and not talking to each other. And they're just be wasting time taking photos instead of talking to each other, right? And the reason why they're taking the photo is just so they can upload a selfie or something and post it online. So this is one of the negative aspects of social media, that people are just becoming addicted to it, that they forget that real people are around them. Narcissism. So narcissism means an excessive love for oneself, that you love yourself too much, that it causes a problem. Yes, we need to respect ourselves, but there's a line that shouldn't be crossed. And this is happening in social media, that people are constantly taking selfies of themselves and they're uploading it online just so that they can receive a real high like count or just to gain attention. So this is one of the negative aspects of social media, that people are just going selfie crazy, and they're just sharing these selfies for no reason other than to gain attention and just to get likes, which isn't a good cause. And sharing unnecessary information. So some people, they might just share posts too frequently and just share unnecessary things. It can be as ridiculous as, I just woke up, I send a post. I'm brushing my teeth, I send a post. Having my breakfast, I send a post. So literally every moment of a day, somebody might post about what they're doing. So that's another negative aspect of social media, that people are posting just too much unnecessarily. And some people will use it to show off. Similar to narcissism, people might use social media to show off their lives, or even just to put on an image. Sometimes they might share a picture about how happy or how good their life is, but the reality doesn't even match what picture that they're sharing. So this is another negative aspect of social media, that they could be creating a false image of what their life is, and they might use social media to show off some aspects of their life. Lies. Now, so many people use social media, and unfortunately, lots of false information is being shared. So you have to be very, very careful about what you decide to believe. Whatever information you find on social media, you need to verify if it's coming from a credible source. So you do need to be very, very careful about what you decide to believe and trust. And bullying. So bullying on the internet is called trolling, and this is becoming a real big issue, coming to the point where it's causing mental distress to people. So bullying physically is bad, and bullying virtually is bad as well. So this is becoming a common feature on social media, that people are trolling users for no reason. Okay guys, so I hope that presentation was clear to you. So the key things to take home is that social media is playing a big role in people's professional lives. That it's not just used for leisure time. Social media is being used by companies and workers so that they can communicate with each other, right? So social media can be used by people, workers of one company, so that they can communicate with each other. They might do a meeting using social media. They might just want to share some information with their co-workers. It can be used by companies to advertise their products. It can be used to keep in touch with customers, right? And it can even be used for people to find jobs or for companies to find workers. There's some of the key things to take home from that presentation. And also, there's a negative aspect to social media. Yes, there are positives. People can keep in touch with others. They can share good information with the community. But there are some negative aspects of social media. One is that lots of false information is being spread. Another bad thing is the selfie obsession, that people will be taking so many pictures of themselves and sharing it online, and even just sharing unnecessary information using these social media platforms. So I hope you benefited from this class. I hope the information was clear to you, and in the future there'll be some more theory lessons and also some practical lessons which will be coming soon. So stay posted on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, and inshallah I hope you guys have a blessed month for Ramadan, and I hope you guys enjoy and make the most of their time during this quarantine break, and let's hope the situation gets back to normal as soon as possible. Take care, guys. Assalamu alaikum.